Stan McShan here. Thanks for tuning in to the How to Become a Crypto Millionaire documentary. This show was previously recorded back in May of 2022. And as you watch, you'll see everything I said a year and a half ago has come to fruition. So if you're just discovering cryptocurrency, don't worry, you haven't missed the boat entirely. There are still plenty of projects with tons of potential where we can learn and secure decent positions like XDC, SHX, Casino Coin, Casper, and XRPH. Let's watch How to Become a Crypto Millionaire, the documentary.
I'm speaking with someone the other day. Naturally, crypto comes up. This is what I live. This is what I do. After all, I'm putting my savings into it. I need to know everything there is to know about it. So I ask, are you familiar with ISO 20022? Yeah. We just looked at each other. It was like we knew something.
Welcome to the very first official episode of How to Become a Crypto Millionaire by Everything Ether. During tonight's dash, I'll be answering one of my own questions. What is ISO 20022? In my own words, ISO 20022, more commonly referred to as 20022, is the new regulations banks must follow. They must switch from the MT to the MX system by no later than 2025. The Bank of England and SWIFT has set forth a few timelines, so banks are working hand in hand to make the migration over to the new system. They're doing it in batches. You can expect the of June 2022. You can expect the dates of February 2023. So these are things that are taking place as we speak. And why all of the new upgrades? First, let's cover a little bit about the MT system and the MX. I mean, I'm not going to get too technical because I can't. I just simply can't. But what I do know I'll share, and that is the MT system is an old original system. It doesn't hold a lot of data. It's not even that fast. However, the new MX system, or the more current MX system, it's actually it transfers a lot of data, a lot more data. It's not as old as sort of say Ether or something. So it transforms a lot of data. That's where the KYC is coming in, the Know Your Customer KYC. Get familiar with that word, because basically what the world is doing is creating one giant ledger that's going to contain all of the world's financial information, and this is the system that's doing it. And the MX system, like I said, it has a lot more data. It'll stop a lot of things. It's actually more so to police the world. And what I mean by police the world, I know you guys are going to hate this, a couple of you. There's a few select sites you can go to right now. And let's say you have no money in the bank, but the price of crypto drops. These guys will buy it. They'll do a flash loan. That's what they're called, flash loans. Price drop real quick, they'll buy it. They don't have the money. Switch it over to another exchange and keep the change if the prices are higher at another exchange. That's one form of flash loan. Another form is with the banking system, using MT and trying to process over to an MX. Now, you go to this exchange who's using MX, it tries to communicate with a bank who's using MT. What happens, it's slow over there. The payment's going through, but it's going to take a few days or a couple hours to process. When what we know as MX and all of the instant payments that we love so much are instant. So, anyway, I guess I'm saying, so they're putting things in place to police that, because right now you can go to a certain exchange, you can buy crypto. You have literally, if you do it on a weekend, you have a whole weekend to pay for it. These are some of the loopholes that the ISO 2022 is going to stop, because payments will be instant. So a lot of us will refer to it as ISO 20022, which may be intentional. So we'll keep it at that, but we know what it is. So with that being said, the banks are working together. We have those nice timelines. We know these things are going to happen, because if they don't happen, they're going to get fined for not following the ISO regulations. The banks don't want that. So it's not all about going up and down the charts or doing this or doing that or what it's doing. Again, my interest is in the utility. What utilities, I ask myself? XLM. MX is a Santex system. It can understand multiples. It can even father new payment types. XLM is one. This is going to be huge in some form, but again, it's for nothing more than to police every single payment in the world. No more lag time between account balances or being able to take advantage of loopholes in the financial system. That's all over. That's a wrap. My own definition, ISO 20022 or 20022 is simply a cleaner, faster, more efficient payment system for the entire globe with no loopholes. With that said, hopefully you were able to obtain enough information to send you on your own research journey. But until next time, stay focused and hodl up.
Let me finish. We never discussed charts or prices because we knew. Do you really want to know what we knew that no one else knows? Knowledge. Your knowledge is a direct reflection of your wealth.
I recall first hearing about ISO 20022, and it was just so confusing, because these terms and this new terminology and this blockchain and all of these things are dApps and all of this stuff is coming so fast. It's like, well, how do you make some sense out of it? So what I'm going to do is try to explain it as best as I can in my own words. But ISO 20022 is a global standard. That's it. It's a global messaging standard for financial institutions and just banks. It's designed to streamline and standardize communication for payments, or bring about some uniformity. And you know what? Like when they say the proper attire, well, ISO 20022 is the new proper attire for all payment systems worldwide. That's what it is. And right now in 2024, ISO is driving adoption in cross-border payments, real-time settlement systems, and crypto projects like XRP, XDC, Algorand, and they're enabling faster, more efficient, and transparent transactions worldwide. Everything we do can be looked up on the blockchain. You can follow someone's wallet on the blockchain from the moment they receive the payment for, oh my God, hither forth.
Listen, I know you're not going to believe me until you do your own research, but the information I'm about to share with you is highly classified.
Welcome to another episode of How to Become a Crypto Millionaire with Everything Ether. During tonight's dash, I'll be covering one of my own questions. What are ISO 20022 use cases? One must first revisit 2016 when the Federal Reserve and the clearinghouse got together and formulated a high-powered, high-level strategy to execute Operation ISO 20022. While bearing in mind, in 2015, a case study was done for the adoption of ISO messaging. The main reasons for ISO adoption was to comply with evolving regulatory guidelines, invest in new businesses, upgrade the system, collect data, and fight wire crimes. Because again, ISO is a single standard payment system. There's no hiding. And I did say was adopted because it actually took place. It's already in play as we speak. I mean, think about it. If the United States hadn't adopted ISO, our money is all over the world. It's all over the globe. Our dollar bills, US dollar bills, are all over the globe and accepted. Well, without ISO being into play, or without ISO adoption in the US, the US dollar bills wouldn't be worth anything anywhere to anyone. ISO testing started back in 2018. You remember? Fedwire sent test messages to every business bank account in need. US Bank sent test messages to every unemployed U.S. citizen. All that was needed was a social, an address, and for the individual to be a valid U.S. citizen, and you received a test message. ISO test messages took place in phases. So now, it's not that the SEC is actually causing a problem or trying to stop Ripple or trying to do anything. What's actually happening around the world is 95% of the world is in place on the ISO messaging system. And it's called a messaging system because think about it. If I can send you money or anything as fast as a text, it's that fast. You know what? In fact, look at it like this. Pay attention. This is our world. This is our payment system. We have payments over here. We have payments over there. We have payments back over here and then over there again. But this is the ISO payment system. One single standard. We have our XRP, our XLM, our XDC, our IOTA, and our Algorand. All of the fiat dollars as we know it are going to go and flow into this new system. We all have freedom of choice. I can put my money in now or I can put it in later. But this is the new. This is the inevitable. I know I'm no artist, but I'm sure you get the picture. Like I was saying, ISO will take place in phases, and this will allow other countries, banks, and financial institutions to align and synchronize. See, ISO is a single standard payment system. As for the United States, SEC isn't doing anything other than what they were governed to do, which is stay in place, be last on purpose, so that once everyone else is in place, all the other countries, all the other banks, and the entire system is up and running, the United States, being a leading country, will simply enhance and police the entire ISO 20022 operation. As I think about it, I have a question. Do you recall when text messages could only contain up to 120 characters? That's how the MT and ACH system is. Data is truncated, meaning it's limited. So the ISO system allows the banks to transmit much more information. And what I mean by that is Again, it's not truncated. So now they can send more information, gather more information to send with each payment. So if someone does some type of cyber crime, some type of hacking, some type of kidnapping or slavery or whatever it is that they do out here, it's going to lead right back to them. It's one payment, one system, one single standard. Now that we've discussed a few ISO 20022 use cases, I'd like to conclude with a few of the enhancements the United States government is going to make once all of the other countries' financial institutions and bank are synchronized. The enhancements will include the adding of other cryptocurrencies, such as central bank currencies and stablecoins. With that said, I hope the information I shared with you gets you on the right path while you do your research. And until next time, stay focused and huddle up.
You want to know something else? If I told you 95% of what I know, it's the 4% that I'm holding back that's going to blow your mind.
If you're just tuning in to How to Become a Crypto Millionaire, Stan McShan here. And as I previously stated, this footage was recorded back in May of 2022. However, as I stated before as well, here we are. I hope the information within my How to Become a Crypto Millionaire documentary is helpful to you. And before I go any further, I must change some things and clarify a few things, because after doing some more research, I realized that the ISO system was designed as a global standard, not solely for the U.S. or not solely for U.S. regulation.
Wherever you are right now, whatever you're doing, stop. Put your hand on your heart and bow your head, especially if you can't sing. For the land of the free and the home of the brave. Yeah, this one's gonna make you feel kind of patriotic.
Welcome to another episode of How to Become a Crypto Millionaire by Everything Ether. During tonight's dash, I'll be discussing one of my final ISO 20022 questions, which is, what are the present and future uses of ISO 20022? Now, as you recall, we already discussed 20022, 20022, and now 20022. I decided to search all three terms for the simple fact that these are the terms being used across the globe by different medias. And I needed to know. I mean, it's not rocket science. I mean, I get it. They're not going to put it out there just for any and everyone to know or find it easily. So, and like I said, I get it. But, I mean, the average person's not going to search TCH, RTP. They're not going to put those two terms together and search that. The clearinghouse and real-time payments, and discover that ISO 20022 has actually been active and approved long ago, and that the clearinghouse has been using ISO. So as for the present, the clearinghouse is actually using the ISO 20022 messaging system as we speak. And why do I refer to it as a messaging system? Okay, let's get into that. Okay, so why is it a messaging system? Because that's what it is. By all means, it's a system that sends messages in the form of electronic data. That's all it is. So If this machine or the data says that you have X amount, then that's what you have, and that's what you have at your disposal to use financially, that data. Remember, the future is all about data. Data. Look that up. If you get a chance, research that. That's what this is all about. The ISO 022 is all about collecting and selling the data itself, or transferring the value of the data. And you may be asking, like, what's all this data business? Well, what the data business is, data in the future is the business. Allow me to paint you a picture. Your world is this house. This house has electrical sockets. Those electrical sockets represent ISO. Well, your television, that's a bank. The microwave is another form of a bank. The radio is another bank or financial institution. However, in order for all of them to work, they must plug into the electrical system. So after doing your research on the RTP, you'll find that the ISO has long been adopted and has long been in use, and that it is a messaging system. ISO 20022 was literally created specifically for the United States of America. Woo, woo. I am able to see the SEC and Ripple lawsuit and see the truth, which is they're merely just trying to get the laws documented in the world's law books. That's it. And they're gradually getting it together. With each phase that takes place and completes, we're that much closer to the finish line. With that being said, I hope my information was able to help you get going on your research. ISO 20022. ISO, International Standardized Organization. Look it up. So until next time, stay focused and huddle up. I don't know about you, but I got goosebumps.
If you're here, it's obvious. You searched cryptocurrency explained for dummies. Well, let me tell you, there's this guy. This guy is in the description. This guy knows everything that you need to know. He explains it. This guy, I'm telling you, go see this guy in the description.
Welcome to another episode of How to Become a Crypto Millionaire by Everything Ether. During tonight's dash, we're going to be covering what is cryptocurrency. And this is assuming that you don't know anything about cryptocurrency and you're new to cryptocurrency, because at some point I was too. I searched all over the internet, everywhere I could find. I watched hundreds of videos, tried to watch the quick 5-minute videos, the Bitcoin explained in 30 seconds, and and that didn't work out for me. But I'm telling you, man, I found this guy. This guy explained it the way I needed it to be explained. If you want to check it out, look into the description, click the link, and I'm telling you, this guy got you covered. To stay updated on me and my progress on becoming a crypto millionaire, always watch the videos in the About Me section. So until next time, stay focused and huddle up.
All right, give yourself a big round of applause just for making it this far, because we're a little more than halfway there. And just for those who are having a hard time grasping it, or that are struggling, just like I was struggling trying to grasp the information when I first started, I put together a little something using Bitcoin as an example. Check it out, and we'll get right back into How to Become a Crypto Millionaire, the documentary.
What is Bitcoin?
Take a quarter, for example. If 25 people had to split it, everyone would get 1 penny each. If 5 people had to split it, everyone would get 5 cents each. But if 15 or even 50 people had to split it, that's where Bitcoin comes in. The only way for the quarter to be split amongst 15 or a physically indivisible amount of people is by securing the quarter someplace safe and giving everyone a certificate or digital certificate that verifies and represents their portion. That's how Bitcoin works. All the Bitcoin in the world is secured in a single safe location. People buy digital certificates representing their portion, which is used as a method of exchange. So, in other words, Bitcoin is like digital money that can be divided into smaller units and bought or traded. Instead of physically carrying around the money, you keep track of your ownership through these digital certificates, which are stored securely in a system known as the blockchain. And just like a quarter, you can buy goods and services with Bitcoin, and its value can also change depending on how many people are using it and how much of it is available. The beauty of it all is it's faster, more secure, and more convenient than traditional money, making it a game changer for the financial world.
They want someone to teach and explain. They want someone to teach and explain. They want someone to teach and explain the truth.
Welcome to the 5th episode of How to Become a Crypto Millionaire documentary by Everything Ether. During tonight's dash, I'll be covering some of my research on the ISO 20022 tokens. Assuming you've checked out the guy I mentioned in episode 4, you know what cryptocurrency is. And now that you have a rough idea or some kind of idea what cryptocurrency is, let's get into my research. In the beginning, I had no idea which way to turn. I was just searching blindly, just doing research on XRP, XLM, XDC, Algorand, and IOTA. And that's when I ran across XRP Veil. And guys, I'm telling you, this guy is covering the ISO 20022 tokens like no one I've ever seen. So his videos are concise, straight to the point. I mean, he doesn't keep you there all day. And one of the main things I like about XRP Veil is I can drive and listen. He gives up great information, so check him out and get behind him because he's out here for us. When it comes to the ISO tokens, I'm all in. I'm telling you, all chips are in based on, the research that I've done and what I'm seeing. But again, I'm all in. And I'm all in not for now, but for the future. For the future of my family, for the future of my generation. Let's face it, at some point we're all going to grow old. I mean, if we're lucky, we'll grow and live to be a lot older than we are younger. Meaning, you're only going to be young up until you're around, 25, 30. Then after that, you're just starting to get old. So, like I said, at some point, we're all going to grow up and grow older. And when I'm older, I don't want to be sitting up worrying about my pension or my retirement or worrying about how I'm going to make ends meet. One of the sad things is it's a sad realization to see that a lot of us are going to miss the boat. That's the thing that pains me the most, to know that a lot of people are going to be left out on this great wealth transfer, or this great transfer of wealth. However you want to look at it, it just pains me to know that people are going to miss out. I'm saying these things knowing that 3 years from now, 5 years from now, someone's going to see these videos and wish they had seen them during this time or wish they had known. With that being said, thanks for watching another episode of How to Become a Crypto Millionaire documentary by Everything Ether. So until next time, stay focused and hodl love.
Just before I share some information, I must say clearly, listen, I am no financial advisor. Do your own research and draw your own conclusion. So with that being said and out the way, and now that you know I'm no financial advisor, as I talk about these things, such as IOTA, Algorand, XRP, XDC, XLM, as I speak about these particular tokens or technologies, I want to make it clear that I'm not investing in them solely to become a millionaire. If I get into a project and I only have pennies invested or fractions of a penny, and just so happen this project returns some sort of mind-blowing yields, now listen, I'm 54. There's no yacht and bimbos for me. That's over. Not even a thought. So I would take that profit. If it was $1 million, it's not really $1 million. What am I going to do? It's only $45,000 to $50,000 a year for real. I'll take that, put it in an interest-bearing account, with maybe put it in USDC, earn the interest, and that's it for that. But I would also take some of that money and reinvest it into the same projects that helped me obtain that in the first place. Because there's other projects out there. We have XLM has Aqua, SHX. You got XRP Ledger, Casino Coin. So when I profit from one, I just reinvest it right back into the exact same project or an associated project, because this is what's going to make the system go live. Usage. Us actually utilizing these platforms that we're investing in. It makes no sense to have hundreds and thousands and hundreds of thousands of tokens of something that you're just waiting on it to hit a certain price to do this or do that. That doesn't help the ecosystem while you're having them, or while you have them, learn what they're about. Use them. System blow. That's all.
Okay, I get it. I know what cryptocurrency is. I even know a little bit about the ISO tokens. But how do I get started?
Welcome to the 6th episode of How to Become a Crypto Millionaire documentary by Everything Ether. During tonight's stash, I'm going to be going over one of the methods I'll be using to become retired and then possibly a crypto millionaire throughout the duration of this documentary. If at any time you've wondered why a 3 to 5 or even possibly an 8-year plan, the best person I can think of to answer that question would be Lewis Jackson. As I speak to a lot of people about cryptocurrency, a lot of people, the first question is, how do I cash out? Like, well, that's why, again, I'd recommend watching Lewis Jackson. He's going to give up a lot of information, and he'll give you a nice example on how it works. He lays out a simple, easy to follow plan. He actually gives examples. He shows when, what, and how. I mean, it doesn't get any cleaner or better than that. He actually does a mathematical demonstration showing how someone can start with as little as $1,000. So again, I would just check out Lewis Jackson. I'm sure you'll find a lot of value in the videos on his channel just as I did. Once I learned what I know, I began to focus more on accumulating. That's why I'm sharing what I know with you guys. That's why I'm showing you the sources of my information so that you too can investigate. And as you can see, if you've been paying attention, night will become day before you know it. Just as next year and the year after will be here before we know it. So if you ever have plans to become a crypto millionaire, please watch this documentary. And if you're going to get started, the best time to start is now. So with that being said, stay focused and hodl up.
All right. We finally made it to the end of How to Become a Crypto Millionaire documentary. If this is something that interests you and you need to know more about it, please do not hesitate to leave a comment. Ask me. I don't care. There are no stupid or dumb questions. Just ask, and if it's something that I can answer or maybe do the research on or direct you in the right direction, I'll do just that. But it will help the community grow as a whole. You may have questions about different sorts of cryptos, or you just want more information. Check out everythingether.com or check out my Crypto Quick News. Today, I'd like to cover 3 different cryptocurrencies under a penny that could potentially lead to life-changing wealth. Casino Coin, Strongholds SHX, and XRP Health. But first, let's revisit an older article. Keep in mind, this article is much more than 8 years old. Man buys $27 of Bitcoin, forgets about them, finds they're now worth $886,000. Bought in 2009. This article was originally published on October 29th, 2013. Norwegian man discovers $27 in Bitcoin investment now worth more than enough to buy an apartment. The meteoric rise in Bitcoin has meant that within the space of 4 years, one Norwegian man's $27 investment turned into a forgotten $886,000 windfall. Christopher Koch invested 150 kroner, which is equivalent to $26.60 in US. He invested in 5,000 Bitcoin in 2009. Can you imagine what that was like to only invest $27 and discover 800,000 plus just a few years later? He was early then, like we're early now. So let's do some quick math. $26.60 divided by 5,000 Bitcoin equals 0.00532, which is a little more than half of a penny. Can you imagine buying Bitcoin at half of a penny? Well, we're that kind of early now. So get ready. 3 different cryptos that could potentially offer life-changing wealth. First up, Casino Coin. Casino Coin, CSC. With its focus on revolutionizing the gambling industry, CSC aims to provide fast, secure, and low-cost transactions within casinos, online gaming, and betting platforms. Next, Stronghold, SHX. This token is designed to provide stability in the volatile crypto market by offering a secure and decentralized store of value, ensuring your investments remain strong and resilient. And finally, XRP Health, XRPH. With a mission to transform healthcare through blockchain technology, XRPH aims to streamline medical data management, improve patient care, and enhance medical research. Don't miss out on these potential gems. Subscribe for more updates on CSC, SHX, and XRPH. So there you have it. Please do not miss out on these potential gems. And once again, don't forget to subscribe, and let's ride these waves to financial success together. Yeah. As I share the information I'm about to share, did that make sense? Oh. If you're just tuning in to this live stream, Stan McShan here. And up next is Crypto Time Travelers, a race to save their city. It's a 40-minute journey through the origins and evolution of Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and XRP. This video dives into key financial topics to help you research and make informed decisions, all while keeping it entertaining and engaging. You don't want to miss this. Let's go. In the realm known as reality, time only moves forward and cannot be altered or manipulated. Time travel is the concept that refers to the ability to move through different points in time, either frontward or backward. The realm of time travel is often depicted as a means of altering the past or influencing the future. The year was 2033. And the city of Telosa was in its prime. Nestled in the heart of the Arizona desert, the city was a bustling metropolis filled with the latest technology and innovation. The residents of Telosa were proud of their city, and they had every reason to be. The futuristic solar-powered city in the desert is a technologically advanced metropolis that harnesses the power of the sun to sustain its energy needs. The city is located in the Arizona desert region, but it has been transformed into a lush oasis with the use of greenhouses and farms that use advanced hydroponic and aeroponic systems to grow crops. The city is powered by advanced solar panels that are integrated into the designs of the buildings, and also by the use of helium-3, which is an isotope of helium that is used as fuel energy. The city runs on IOTA and blockchain technology, which also allows for secure and efficient management of all its systems, including transportation, communication, and finance. The transportation system is based on magnetic shuttles that run on a network of elevated tracks, allowing for fast and efficient movement throughout the city. The shuttles are autonomous, AI, and are connected to the city's transportation system through IOTA and blockchain technology, allowing for real-time tracking and management. Telosa City's economy is based on the production and export of advanced technology and green energy, as well as the cultivation and export of high-quality crops grown in the city's greenhouses and farms. Telosa is a major tourist destination thanks to its unique combination of advanced technology and natural beauty. But for 4 missives, Telosa held a special significance. These 4 individual missives were time travelers, sent back in time from their present in 2033 to a time before Telosa even existed. Their mission was to curve back in time and defeat a time-traveling warlord who was using his powers to manipulate the crypto markets with deception and price suppression. He had traveled back in time before Telosa was established. The powerful warlord, named Volatility, had access to valuable information which allowed him to predict and take advantage of market fluctuations. The only way to defeat the warlord was by traveling back in time to key moments in history to alter the events that led to the warlord's rise to power. They must sabotage his efforts to gain access to the valuable information. They'd also need to gather allies from different eras to help them in their mission. If they fail, all they are and know would fade away as if Telosa never existed. The first of the 4 missives was named Bitcoin, representing the world's first most well-known cryptocurrency. Bitcoin was the elder of the group. Old and stuck in his ways, he was a confident and charismatic individual who had a clear vision for the future of Telosa. The second missive was named Ethereum, representing the second most valuable cryptocurrency by market capitalization. Ethereum was the brains of the group. Ageless from the beginning, he was a brilliant technologist and had a deep understanding of how to use blockchain technology to change the world. The third missive was named Ripple, a transcendent frequency possessing the graceful gift of rippling, representing a newer cryptocurrency that was focused on providing fast and affordable cross-border payments. Ripple was the team's problem solver. He was always looking for ways to overcome obstacles and find solutions to the challenges they faced. The fourth and final missive was named Litecoin, representing a cryptocurrency that was created as a faster and cheaper alternative to the elder Bitcoin. Litecoin was the team's wild card. She was a free spirit who was always willing to take risks and think outside the box. Together, these four set out on their mission to change the course of history. They knew their mission wasn't going to be easy, but they were determined to succeed. Their first objective was to establish a base of operations. They curved back in time to the year 2003, the year that the first ever blockchain-based cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, was created. There they met Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin, and convinced him to join their cause. Together, they built a secret underground base where they could plan and strategize. After finally meeting Satoshi, the Wise One, they were amazed by his vision and passion for the potential of blockchain technology. They knew they had found the right being to help them with their mission. The clear-thinking Satoshi agreed. It was done. They began to lay the foundation that would support the future of Telosa. Next, they navigated the time curve to the year 2009. This was the year that Bitcoin was officially launched to the public. As Satoshi agreed, it was done. The team knew that this was a crucial moment in the history of Telosa, and they worked vigorously to ensure that the launch was a success. Their efforts paid off, and Bitcoin quickly gained traction among early adopters and enthusiasts. The team knew that they were on the right track. They continued to work with Satoshi to build the infrastructure and ecosystem that would be needed to support Telosa in the future. As the years passed, the team continued to migrate through time, building the foundation for their home Telosa and working to ensure the city would come into being. They faced many challenges along the way, but they never gave up. Satoshi provided guidance and served as a great center of origin for the team. The year was 2022, and the city of Telosa was still just a dream. But for four time-curving missives, Telosa represented something much more. These four individuals were deployed back in time from their present existence in 2033. Their mission was to initiate the manifestation of the city they called home. They were to protect it from evil forces that threatened to destroy it. Else, their futures couldn't exist. From the initial state, they knew they were in for a tough fight. The evil forces were already on the move, and they had to act fast to stop them. They encountered various enemies, including corrupt politicians, powerful criminal organizations, and even time-traveling warlords. But the team was always one step ahead, using their unique skills and abilities to outsmart and outfight the enemy. Ripple, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin worked together to defend their value and protect their users' assets. But one day, the enemy, a group of malicious warlords, succeeded in capturing Ripple, leaving Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin weakened. The three remaining individual missives realized they needed each other to win the fight and save Ripple. They formed a plan to mount a rescue mission, but they knew it wouldn't be easy. The Goliath-like warlords had heavily fortified their stronghold and were well equipped and aware of the latest technologies. Bitcoin, being the most valuable of the three, offered to lead the charge. Ethereum, with its smart contract capabilities, proposed to create a decentralized autonomous organization to coordinate the attack. Litecoin, known for its fast transaction speeds, offered to serve as a scout, gathering intel and movements. The missives worked adamantly to prepare for the mission, and finally, the day of attack arrived. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin launched a coordinated assault on the stronghold, using all of their unique strengths to overcome the warlords' defenses. While in the hands of the malicious warlords, Ripple put up a fight like never before. They had underestimated Ripple's determination and resilience. Ripple used all of its resources to slow down the warlords' efforts to extract information and value from it. Ripple created multiple layers of security and employed advanced encryption techniques to protect its users' assets. The warlords were taken aback by Ripple's fierce resistance and soon realized that they had a formidable opponent on their hands. They tried to break Ripple's defenses, but it stood strong. Ripple worked to the degree of exhaustion to devise new strategies and countermeasures to keep the enemy at bay. As days passed, they grew more and more frustrated with their inability to crack Ripple's defenses. They tried every trick in the book, but nothing worked. Ripple was the unbreakable. The missiles prepared for the rescue mission. Ethereum was squaring off with the enemy's flank attackers. The warlords had sent a group of specialized units to infiltrate Ethereum's network and disrupt its operations, but Ethereum was ready for them. With its smart contract capabilities, Ethereum's decentralized autonomous organization, DAO, defended against the attackers. The DAO was able to quickly identify and neutralize the enemy's infiltration attempts using a combination of advanced security protocols and crowdsourced intelligence. As the battle raged on, Litecoin was also hard at work fortifying its foundation. The enemy had targeted Litecoin's user base, trying to exploit vulnerabilities in the underlying infrastructure. Litecoin responded by establishing a cash app, which provided a fast, secure, and easy way to transact. The cash app was a masterstroke, allowing Litecoin to protect its users' assets and prevent the enemy from siphoning off value. With the cash app in place, Litecoin's foundation was stronger than ever before. It was able to weather the enemy's attacks with ease. With Ethereum manning the DAO and Litecoin executing the cash app, Bitcoin was working on a master plan to defeat the villain warlord Volatility, who was causing chaos in the land of digital currency, making it difficult for users to predict the value of their assets and causing uncertainty in the market. Bitcoin knew that in order to defeat volatility, it needed to address the root cause. Bitcoin identified that the main source of volatility was speculation, and the key to stability was adoption. Bitcoin began to focus on increasing its real-world usage and adoption. Endlessly, Bitcoin worked to create new use cases and partnerships, making it easier for people to spend and receive Bitcoin in their daily lives. Bitcoin also focused on educating the public about the benefits of using BTC and how it could help stabilize the market. As the adoption of Bitcoin grew, so did its value. The market began to see the stability that Bitcoin brought, and volatility began to subside. Bitcoin's master plan was working. In reality, John has always been curious about the world of cryptocurrency. In the summer of 2021, he decided to take the plunge and start purchasing Bitcoin on a weekly basis using Cash App. He set a budget for himself of $100 per week and began buying on July 6th, 2021. John watched the price of Bitcoin fluctuate over the weeks, but he remained committed to his investment strategy. He continued to purchase $100 worth of Bitcoin every week, regardless of whether the price was up or down. Months had gone by. John saw the price of Bitcoin slowly but steadily rise. By the end of 2021, his investment had gone to over $5,000. He was thrilled with the progress he had made and decided to continue his weekly purchases into 2022. In January 2022, the price of Bitcoin suddenly skyrocketed, reaching an all-time high. John couldn't believe his luck. He had been consistently buying Bitcoin at a steady pace, 52 weeks, $100 per week, $5,200 total invested in Bitcoin, returned a $26,800 profit. John wasn't an early investor in cryptocurrency. However, he had been following the market while investing. One day, he came across a new investment opportunity that promised to help him legally hold off on paying taxes on his profits. He did his research and found that the investment was a cryptocurrency tax shelter that would allow him to invest $26,800 of his crypto profits into a specially designed fund. It was a lot to digest at first, but John familiarized himself with as much as he could. He learned about several funds. The first was Qualified Opportunity Funds, QOF. These funds are often designed for investors looking to defer paying taxes on their capital gains by investing in certain designated low-income communities. QOFs are often used to invest in real estate, but they can also be used to invest in cryptocurrency. Then, Exchange Traded Funds, ETF. ETFs are funds that are traded on stock exchanges and can be used to invest in a variety of assets, including cryptocurrencies. Some ETFs are designed to provide tax benefits for investors, such as deferred taxes on capital gains. Then, Self-Directed IRA. A self-directed IRA is a type of retirement account that allows the holder to invest in a wide range of alternative assets, including cryptocurrencies. This type of account allows investors to defer paying taxes on their crypto profits until they reach retirement age. Then, tax-advantaged accounts. These are accounts that are designed to provide tax benefits for certain types of investments. For example, a health savings account, HSA, allows investors to invest in certain types of assets, including cryptocurrencies, and defer paying taxes on their profits until they withdraw the money for medical expenses. The fund John chose was designed to give investors like himself the ability to defer paying taxes on their crypto profits until they decided to sell their shares. By investing in the fund, John would be able to legally hold off on paying taxes on his crypto profits until a later date. He invested $26,800 of his crypto profits into the tax shelter. He saved $5,000 to reinvest in Bitcoin the next time the price fluctuated to the downside. He also continued to buy Bitcoin, $100 per week. John's research suggested promise for Bitcoin late 2023 through 2024. At the next halving, he knew that it would require some patience, but he was willing to wait for the right time to sell his shares and pay taxes on his profits. As weeks became months and time went by, John watched as the value of his investment grew. He also kept an eye on the cryptocurrency market to make sure to stay informed about any changes that could affect the value of his Bitcoin investment. Finally, after several years, John decided that it was the right time to sell his shares and pay taxes on his profits. He sold his shares for a substantial profit and paid taxes. Because of the tax shelter, he was able to pay significantly less than he would have if he had paid taxes on his profits immediately after making them. John was glad he had taken the opportunity to invest in the crypto tax shelter. It had allowed him to legally hold off on paying his taxes on his crypto profits and enabled him to maximize his returns. Just after visiting one of his favorite crypto entertainment sites, everythingether.com, John turned on the television. He hung on every word as the announcer said.
So in the event of a massive national power and internet outage, it is likely that electronic payment systems such as credit and debit cards, as well as online banking, will not be available. This would make it difficult for individuals and businesses to pay for goods and services. In such a scenario, people may have to resort to using cash or bartering for goods and services, as it would not be possible to make electronic transactions. Some businesses may accept forms of payment such as checks or money orders. The more fortunate people will have physical gold or silver. It's important for people to have some cash on hand in case electronic forms of payment are not available. It's also important to note that a massive power and internet outage can have widespread, far-reaching consequences. And it's important to be prepared for such an event and have emergency supplies and a plan in place.
John had already been doing extensive research on gold and other precious metals, but his intentions were to create a trust with silver and crypto to use as collateral to buy real estate. He found he needed to find a way to securely store the precious metals and crypto assets he intended to use as collateral. After researching various options, John decided he needed to work with a reputable storage company that specialized in the secure storage of precious metals and digital assets. He also needed to consult with a financial advisor to ensure that his trust was set up in a way that would comply with all relevant regulations and laws. Once the trust was established and the assets were securely stored, John could begin looking for real estate opportunities. He'd focus on properties that were undervalued and had the potential for significant appreciation in value. He'd also make sure to conduct thorough due diligence on each property before making an offer. Through careful research and smart investment strategies, John concluded he'd be able to successfully use his trust in silver and crypto assets as collateral to purchase a portfolio of valuable real estate properties. Over time, the value of the properties would likely increase, resulting in substantial returns for John and the beneficiaries of his trust. John was preparing himself to gain full dominion over his future. He jotted down a few key notes and tasks he began working on immediately. His list read the following. 1. Research the legal requirements for creating a trust in my state, as well as any specific regulations for creating a trust that holds cryptocurrency or precious metals. 2. Hire an attorney experienced in trust formation to assist with drafting the trust documents and ensuring compliance with all applicable laws. 3. Choose a trustee to manage the trust assets and ensure they meet the legal requirements for serving in this role. 4. Obtain the legal licenses and permits to purchase and hold Bitcoin and silver if required by law. 5. Fund the trust with the desired amount of Bitcoin and silver. 6. Use the assets in the trust as collateral to buy desired items. Researching cryptocurrencies became a part of John's everyday existence. He felt guilty if he didn't learn something new every day. It wasn't long before he became aware of stellar lumens and Ripple. In the year 2030, humanity had finally succeeded in creating a fully functioning, decentralized global payment network. The network, known as Ripple, utilized a new type of digital currency called XRP that could be transferred instantaneously to anyone, anywhere in the world. The key feature of Ripple was its ability to ripple transactions through a network of interconnected nodes, allowing for faster and cheaper international money transfers. Each time a transaction was made, it would create a small ripple effect that would spread through the network, validating and processing the transaction at lightning speed. As the world became more connected and dependent on digital commerce, the use of Ripple and XRP became ubiquitous. People could now send money to their loved ones in remote corners of the world with just a few clicks on their smartphones. Businesses could now expand their reach and tap into new markets without worrying about high costs and long wait times of traditional wire transfers. But with the increased use of Ripple came a new set of challenges. As the network grew, it became a prime target for hackers and cyber criminals looking to exploit its vulnerabilities. Governments and financial institutions, threatened by the disruptive power of Ripple, began to push back and impose strict regulations on its use. Despite these challenges, the Ripple network continued to evolve and adapt. Its founders, a group of visionary technologists, worked day in and day out to improve the security and scalability of the network. And as the ripples of its transactions spread across the globe, they knew that they were making the world a little bit more connected and a little bit more equal, one transaction at a time. December 2020. Ripple was getting a bad rep as lies were being spread to discourage retail investors. However, the truth is that Ripple is a legitimate and innovative technology company that is working on providing efficient and cost-effective cross-border payment solutions for financial institutions. Its digital asset, XRP, has been adopted by a number of banks and payment providers as a means of facilitating international transactions. Despite the negative rumors and misinformation, Ripple has a bright future and has the potential to revolutionize the way money is sent and received globally. After all, Ripple is a frequency. Massive frequencies like Ripple are gifted with the abilities to broadcast without the connected world, while other missiles need virtual superhighways to function at full potential. Warlords envy frequencies, especially those gifted with rippling. In reality, John started collecting coins as a kid. As long as he could remember, he'd been enthused by the history of money. He spent a great deal of his life researching how money has evolved from the beginning of time until the present day. John's research took him on a journey through ancient civilizations and the rise and fall of various currencies. He studied the use of bartering, the creation of coins, and the invention of paper money. He also delved into the history of the US dollar and the impact of fiat currency crashes throughout history. Through his research, John discovered that the value of fiat currencies, such as the US dollar, is often at the mercy of governments and central banks. He learned that these institutions have the power to print money and manipulate its value, leading to inflation and currency crashes. John also discovered the rise of a new form of money, known as cryptocurrency. He was particularly drawn to Bitcoin, which he saw as a way to preserve wealth and avoid the risks associated with fiat currency. Unlike traditional currencies, Bitcoin is decentralized, meaning it is not controlled by any government or institution. This means that it is not subject to inflation or currency crashes caused by government policies. John's research led him to the conclusion that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are the future of money. He believed that they will play a vital role in preserving wealth and protecting people from the risks associated with fiat currency. John's research was gaining recognition and respect in the field of self-taught economics, and he became an advocate of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Many of his followers began sharing his research and spreading his ideas and beliefs. Bitcoin had been summoned by his creator. The time curve teleported him to a far-off land where the mountains touched the sky and the rivers ran deep. There was a kingdom ruled by a wise king. The kingdom was known for its wealth and prosperity, but the king was not content. He wanted to find a way to protect his people's wealth from the ravages of time and the greed of others. A mysterious traveler came to the kingdom, bearing news of a new kind of money called Bitcoin. The traveler told the king that the money was not controlled by any government or institution, and that its value was based on complex mathematical equations. The king was intrigued and asked the traveler to teach him more about this new currency. The traveler agreed and began to teach the king and his advisors about the workings of Bitcoin and the technology behind it called blockchain. They learned that Bitcoin was decentralized, meaning that it was not subject to the whims of any government or institution, and that it was secure thanks to the blockchain technology. The king was convinced that the new currency was the key to protecting his kingdom's wealth. He ordered his treasury to start accepting Bitcoin and to encourage his subjects to do the same. The kingdom's economy began to flourish as a result, and the people were able to preserve their wealth. Word of the kingdom's Success with Bitcoin spread throughout the land, and the other kingdoms began to adopt the currency as well. Soon the entire land was united under the common currency. The king looked into the traveler's eyes. His mind became flooded with visions of the distant future. 2033. The king saw the kingdom thriving. Thanks to his wise decision to adopt Bitcoin, he knew that it had been instrumental in preserving the kingdom's wealth and securing its future. And so, the kingdom continued to prosper, and the king's legacy lived on. In a blink of an eye, the traveler, Satoshi Nakamoto, was gone. But the king's newfound understanding would guide him in the years to come. Bitcoin's allies were growing daily. The malicious warlords would surely see Ripple has an entire army consisting of people from all walks of the cryptosphere. In reality, his research on XRP was more than interesting. He became infatuated with the rumors and ideas of a XRP buyback. John researched economic world history from 1776 to his present time. The Bretton Woods Conference rang bells. In 1933, there was a gold nationalization, not confiscation. To confiscate something is to take it without cause or payment. John started thinking of all the events that need to take place to constitute a XRP nationalization. John created a list of events to compare to his day and age. The Great Depression. The United States was in the midst of an economic crisis with high levels of unemployment and inflation. Banking crisis. Many banks were failing and people were losing confidence in the banking system. Emergency Banking Act. In March 1933, the government passed the Emergency Banking Act, which allowed the government to close failing banks and provide for the reopening of sound banks. Gold Reserve Act. In January 1934, the government passed the Gold Reserve Act, which required American citizens to sell their gold to the Federal Reserve at a fixed price. This action effectively increased the government's gold reserves and helped stabilize the economy. New Deal policies. The gold buyback was a part of the New Deal policies implemented by President Franklin D. Roosevelt, which aimed to stabilize the economy and help the country recover from the Great Depression. His studies revealed the United States gold nationalization in 1933 was a result of the Great Depression and the economic crisis of the time. The country was facing a severe banking crisis with many banks failing and people losing confidence in the banking system. In addition, the country was also facing high levels of unemployment and inflation. In order to address these issues, the government passed the Emergency Banking Act and the Gold Reserve Act. The Emergency Banking Act was passed in March 1933, which allowed the government to close failing banks and provide for the reopening of sound banks. The Gold Reserve Act was passed later in the same year, which required American citizens to sell their gold to the Federal Reserve at a fixed price. This action effectively increased the government's gold reserves and helped stabilize the economy. The gold nationalization was part of the New Deal policies implemented by President Franklin D. Roosevelt, which aimed to stabilize the economy and help the country recover from the Great Depression. John thought it was important to note that the 1933 gold nationalization was not a confiscation, but rather a requirement for citizens to sell their gold to the government at a fixed price, and in return they were given paper money which was backed by the gold. This action helped stabilize the economy and increase the government's gold reserves. John's notepad was becoming full with his scribbles. He jotted all kinds of thoughts, trying to wrap his head around a XRP buyback. He notated that XRP is a decentralized digital asset, and it operates differently than traditional assets such as gold. As such, the idea of XRP nationalization is not applicable in the same way as it would be for a traditional asset. Cryptocurrency operates on a decentralized network, and it is not controlled by any government or central authority. Hypothetically, if the government were to attempt to nationalize XRP, it would likely involve the government somehow gaining control of a majority of the XRP in circulation, either through purchasing it on the open market or through some other means. This would be a difficult task as XRP is decentralized, and the network is operated by a network of validators rather than a central authority. Additionally, the idea of nationalizing XRP would not be possible, as the XRP ledger is open source, and anyone can set up a validator node that could participate in the network. Being an analytical thinker, John noted the Great Depression, banking crisis, Emergency Banking Act, Gold Reserve Act, and New Deal policies were all efforts by the government to address the economic crisis and stabilize the economy during the Great Depression. These events are similar to today's economy in the sense that governments may take similar actions in response to economic downturns, such as providing financial assistance to individuals and businesses, implementing monetary policies, and regulating banking and financial systems. However, the specific economic conditions and causes of the Great Depression and today's economy are different, and thus the government response will differ. Nevertheless, fingers crossed, XRP would surely be one of the tokens he'd use to transfer value within his business dealings. John studied any and everything that coincided with crypto, from world economics to higher self, until the words became blurry and danced on his screen. His snores would often wake himself. In the mind of mortals, rippling is a fairy tale power. Transacting without the web was inconceivable, but this is how a frequency like Ripple gains constant global growth while in the captivity of the malicious warlords. Ripple's true power will soon be revealed and astonish the globe, creating believers where there were none. By uniting nations and breaking down economic barriers, the warlords who once sought to control and manipulate the power of Ripple soon seen the error in their ways and joined forces with Ripple to create a more just and more equitable global economy. As Ripple's influence improved, it began to revolutionize the way people thought about money and transactions. It enabled instant, secure, and inexpensive transfers of funds between individuals and organizations all over the world. People no longer had to rely on traditional banking systems that were slow or prone to fraud. And merchants could now accept payments from customers in any currency without a need for costly conversion fees. It became clear that Ripple was not just a new technology, but a new way of life. The world began to look more and more like a global village as people from all corners of the earth were able to connect and transact with one another in ways that were once thought impossible. With Ripple and other missives like Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin working together with the malicious warlords, at least volatility can now be addressed. They use their vast resources and expertise to create new and innovative financial systems that were fair and accessible to everyone. This made transactions faster, cheaper, and more secure. The warlords who had once been feared and despised were now respected for their leadership and vision. Volatility, the once feared, powerful villain, was arrested and brought to justice. Regulatory clarity spread across the globe as other nations looked at the missives and warlords as a model for their own financial systems. Thanks to the hard work and cooperation of the missives and the warlords, people of the globe lived in peace and prosperity. They knew that by working together they could accomplish anything and overcome any obstacle. The four missives returned to their beautiful city of Tolosa. They were hailed as heroes and celebrated throughout the land. It was secure once again, and the people of Tolosa were grateful to the missives for their hard work and dedication. 2033 never felt better. Their mission to bring stability and prosperity to the land was not only about money, but about creating a better future for the entire globe. The missive's success in saving the future of Tolosa was just the beginning of their journey. The impossible was now the new reality.
So in the event of a massive national power and internet outage, it is likely that electronic payment systems such as credit and debit cards, as well as online banking, will not be available. This would make it difficult for individuals and businesses to pay for goods and services. In such a scenario, people may have to resort to using cash or bartering for goods and services, as it would not be possible to make electronic transactions. Some businesses may accept forms of payment such as checks or money orders. The more fortunate people will have physical gold or silver. It's important for people to have some cash on hand in case electronic forms of payment are not available. It's also important to note that a massive power and internet outage can have widespread, far-reaching consequences, and it's important to be prepared for such an event and have emergency supplies and a plan in place.
Thanks for watching Crypto Time Travelers Race to Save Their City. I hope you enjoyed it because I have over 200 hours wrapped up into creating it, producing it, writing it, editing, and I did it because I like it. This is what I love to do, and I just hope you love and got some enjoyment and some knowledge out of what I shared with you.